Welcome to the Daily Dharma, a gentle podcast where we read a philosophical story every week and reflect on how it relates to everyday life. Our focus is to use Buddhist philosophy to understand the complexity of modern life and find achievable and accessible pathways to peace. Hi everyone. For this special midweek episode, I wanted to share a listener story that really resonates with what I feel what the spiritual journey is really about, which is bringing mindfulness and awareness to the little things in our lives that are truly surprising and also wonderful. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing this story, and without further ado, I will share it now. I was on my walk to a local Lowe's as I had moved to New York City a week prior from Los Angeles and needed to give my bedroom a fresh coat of paint. During my walk, I was completely lost in my surroundings and the leaves that were turning red. I'd never experienced seasons before, and I was taken away by the sheer beauty of it. And then I realized that I wasn't actually positive that I was walking in the right direction, but something told me not to check, because suddenly, going to Lowe's didn't matter so much, as the present I was experiencing became the most important thing in my life. Eventually, I purchased my can of paint from Lowe's, and then was on my way to Trader Joe's. The can was heavy, and I was exhausted, and my hands had begun to bruise. I did just that again. I walked in the wrong direction, but this time, I became a little annoyed when I realized that the pain became worse. But then a voice kept repeating, "Sometimes the wrong way is more important than where you are going," over and over again. Finally, I was checking out at Trader Joe's, and the cashier complimented my ring and wondered where I got it from. I told him it was a ring I got at a flea market in LA. His eyes lit up and said he was from there, and I responded that I was as well. He then asked me where I lived, and I responded, "We didn't just grow up in the same city. He grew up on my block. LA is 503 square miles, and that neighborhood we're from was a very small and pretty unknown neighborhood in LA. I immediately acknowledged that if I had not went in the wrong direction and gotten to Trader Joe's 15 minutes earlier, he may not have been my cashier, and I would never have had this lovely coincidence. This was where fate taught me an important lesson that day, that going the wrong way can not only be the way the universe reveals itself to us, but that it is equally important that sometimes wrong and the more painful route is exactly how the universe reveals its magic. I love this story because I think that it's very true. Because of, technology and Google Maps, it sometimes becomes almost instant that we have to be going the right direction at all times, because now there's no reason not to be. However, when we allow ourselves to just be in the experience and just feel everything that's going on, we can actually open our eyes to the present moment that we're in. And as Sarah described in the story, really appreciate what's going on around us and within us. She was so lost in her walk that she was going in the wrong direction, but ultimately that didn't matter, because the true joy and pleasure of being present was more important than everything else. And I have to say, I really love when this happens to me as well, where I have the time to simply observe and just appreciate how complex and vast and difficult life can be, but also so simple, sometimes as just putting one foot after the other and just allowing the time to pass gently as there's a breeze in the air and the sun is bearing down. Thank you again, Sarah, for sharing this story, and I hope for everyone who is listening that this story brought a smile to your face as it did me. And I hope you also have a moment like this soon, where you're able to be fully present and to enjoy the mystery and the unexpectedness of that as you go through your week. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll be back with a next episode on Sunday. Take care, everyone. May you be well, happy, and peaceful.